Hello guys, this is Asharam and in this video I'll discuss the solution of palindromic paths in a matrix problem. So it's a standard DP problem and I'll discuss its solution. Okay, so let's see its problem statement. So you are given a matrix of size n into m which contains only lower alphabetical characters, and now we need to count the number of palindromic paths in given matrix. So path is a sequence of cells starting from top left cell and ending at bottom right cell. Okay, and we are allowed to move to right or down from current cell only. Okay, so let's try to understand this problem with an example. So suppose you are given a matrix like this of characters, and you can see that here n is 3 and m is 4. So now your goal is to move from this cell, that is 1 comma 1, to this cell, that is n comma m. Okay, and you are allowed to move. Suppose that you are at this cell, then you can move either one cell to its right or one cell to its down. Okay, so and you have to move in such a way that when you move, the string made by the characters you have encountered is a palindromic string. Okay, so you have to count the number of palindromic paths in a matrix, in this matrix. So let's see how many palindromic paths there are in this matrix. So suppose that I start moving from this A to this A, then again right, then down, then again right, then down. Okay, so you can see that we will generate a string A, and it's clearly a palindrome because its ith character from beginning is equal to ith character from end. You can see that. Okay, so now let's see if there is any more palindromic paths. So I'll use another color. So let's say you move from here to here again, then here like this, then again right, then another right, and then down. So again you'll generate a string that is A, and again 5 times A. So again this is a palindrome. So let's see if there is any more palindromic paths. So you'll let me use some another color. So suppose that you move from A to B this time, and then B to A, then again A to A, then A to B, and then B to A. So in that case you'll generate a string A B A. So you can see, okay, so you can see that its first character from beginning is equal to first character from end, and similarly the relation holds for other positions also, hence it's a palindromic string. So this is also a palindromic path. So there are total of 3 palindromic paths. So our algorithm should return 3. So let's see how we can solve this problem. Okay, so now as let's say we are currently at this cell A11. Let's do it like this: A12, A13, then we have A21, A22, and A23, and so on. There are many cells. Okay, there are n into m cells, and now in the end, let's say, let me add a page. Okay, so now let's say you have here A and M, and then you will have A n minus 1m, and then A, let me erase that. Then you will have A and m minus 1. So this is some matrix, some random matrix. Okay, and our goal is to reach from here to here. So you can see that we are at this position and final position is this. Okay, so if we move from any path and if we generate some string, then the first character of that string is a11 and second character of that string is a and m. So for the whole string to be palindromic, they both should be equal. If they are not equal, then we cannot generate any single palindromic path. So if a11 is not equal to a and m, then simply return 0, because there cannot be any palindromic string. Okay, so now we have two choices now. Okay, so we can move here or we can move here, only two choices. Now similarly, you can reach a and m through this path, that is from a n minus 1 m, or you can reach a and m minus 1, you can reach a and m through this path. Okay, so now there are four possibilities. Suppose that you move from a11 to a12 and you reach, wait, let me erase that. So there are four possibilities, let me use black pen. So four possibilities. Okay, so now first possibility. Okay, so now first possibility is that you move from a11 to a12 and then you reach a and m from a n minus 1 m. So first possibility is this, a11 to a12 and then we'll reach the a and m from a n minus 1 m. Okay, so this is our first possibility. So if we move from here, now we are at a12. Okay, let me use some green color. So we are at a12 and we have to reach a n minus 1 m. Okay, we have to reach a n minus 1 m, because since we want to reach a11, since we want to reach a and m from a11, we will first move to a12 and then we'll reach a and m from a n minus 1 m. So to do so, we have to move from a12 to a n minus 1 m. So you can see that now our matrix will get reduced, its size will get reduced by a n minus 1 m. Okay, so our matrix size will get reduced to n minus 1 cross m minus 1, because we have deleted a row, that is this row, and we have deleted a column. So we have produced a sub problem from our bigger problem. So now our goal is to reach a1 from a12 to a n minus 1 m. Okay, so similarly there are three more cases. So suppose that you move from a11 to a12, but now you can reach a and m from a and m minus 1. So a and m minus 1 to a and m. Okay, now you can also move to a21 from a11. Okay, so you can move a11 to a21 and then you can reach a and m from a n minus 1 m. So this is pure combinatorics. Okay, and now there will be fourth case. Okay, let me erase this thing. So you can do it like this, a and m. Okay, so now there are four different possibilities. So yeah, so our number of, wait, let me add another page. So let's say there is some function, let's say path, let's name it path. Let's say our starting cell is, let's say ai, what you want to say. Okay, let's say it is, our starting cell is I comma j and our ending cell is, let's say m comma n. Let's not name it m comma n, let's name it x comma y. Okay, so our starting cell is I comma j and our ending cell is x comma y. Okay, in this case I comma j is 1 comma 1 and x comma y is n comma m. Okay, so now if we move So this function will return number of palindromic paths from I comma j to x comma y. So now you can, since so first condition is our matrix, so let matrix, okay, so our characters at I comma j and x comma j are not equal. If si minus sj is not equal to sx xy, that is the characters are not equal, then return 0 because there is no palindromic path possible. Okay, so now we'll move to second case, that is when they are equal. So when they are equal, you can move from I comma j to I comma j plus 1, and then similarly reach x comma y from x minus 1 to y. Okay, so there will be 4 cases like this. So I am extending this basic result to a general result. So it is equal to path of, so we can move to what, we can move to I plus 1 comma j, that is this is I comma j, then we have moved here. Okay, and sorry, okay, we have moved actually here. If this is I comma j, then we have moved to I plus 1 comma j, that is 1 unit down. Okay, so comma, and we can reach x comma y from x minus 1 comma y, that is if this is x comma y, then we can reach x comma y from here. So these are similar to this. Okay, so now there is one more possibility, sorry, there are 3 more possibilities. Okay, so j, and similarly we'll do this. So and again path, now we'll move to right, that is in this direction. So this is I comma j plus 1. So now we can reach there from x minus 1 comma y, and similarly this I comma j plus 1 to x comma y minus 1. So yeah, this is our recursive relation. Okay, so let me highlight this relation. So this path, and now this is our recursive relation for this problem. Okay, wait, now you need a base case for this also. Okay, so you can see that there is no base case. So suppose that, now base case is quite simple. So if you have to move from this cell to this cell, then there is only, so if you move from this cell to this cell, then they both should be equal, then we'll return that there is only one palindromic path. So if matrix is like this, then we'll move to A. Okay, and number of palindromic paths will be 1, or there can be like this. So matrix can be like this, sub matrix can be like this. So we'll move to A, then we'll return 1, and if they both are not equal, then we'll return 0. Okay, yeah, so yeah, this is our recursive relation. But as you can see, so initially our problem is 1 comma 1 and n comma m. Okay, path, and now there will be 4 more sub problems. There will be 4 more sub problems as I have discussed these 4 problems. Okay, so 1 2 3 4, and then, and this is not looking good, and let me add another page. And similarly this problem will have 4 more cases, and similarly so on. Okay, this will also have 4 cases, 1 2 3 4. So you can see that in each step number of cases will get multiplied by 4, they will increase by 4. Initially I had only 1, then I had 4, and now in this case I'll 4 for this, 4 for this, 4 cases for this, 4 cases for this, so 16. So you can see that this number of subcases are increasing exponentially. So to get from 1 to n, so we'll not go to 1 from 1 to n, we'll can go to 1 to n by 2. Okay, So you can see that it will be around 4 to the power n order. Okay, 4 to the power n, or you can max of n comma n. So this is not an efficient algorithm. So you can see that there will be overlapping of problems. So one simple overlapping you can see this. We are considering case, so we move from here to here, then we move from here to here. Okay, so now, so this is our sub problem, that we want to move from this, we want to move from this position to this position. Okay, so now we can further reduce this position to sub problem by, suppose that we move from here to here, and we move from here, this green to from here. Okay, so this is our another sub problem. So now you can have another sub problems for this position. Okay, so you move from this position to this position, and you reach here from this position. So now you can see that, so for this problem, that is this red problem, will have this problem as is some sub problem, that we move here to here, then here to here. So we'll have another sub problem, that is we'll have this purple problem, same in both green and red problems. So yeah, so this is one of the basic sub problems you can see in this problem, in this question, without constructing any recursion tree. You can also construct a recursion tree, then you can see a lot more overlapping sub problems. So as I have discussed in the previous videos, that we can use dynamic programming to optimize this solution. So we'll create an array and we'll store the results of all the sub problems, then we can reuse them whenever required instead of recomputing them. Okay, so, and I have also told you that if a function accepts one argument, then our dimension of array is 1. If our function accept two arguments, then dimension of array will be 2, and if it accepts 3, then dimension of our array will be 3. Since in our case it is accepting 4 arguments, will create an array of size 4. So we'll create an array of size 4 dp. So 1 2, sorry, dimension 4, not size. Okay, and now you know that I can vary from 1 to n, so this should have size of n, and j can vary from 1 to m, so this should have size m. Similarly, x can vary from 1 to n, so this should have size n, and this should have size m. And in this way we can reduce our space complexity and time complexity to O(n) square into m square only. Okay, so yeah, so this was the algorithm dynamic programming approach for this problem. So now let's see code for this problem. So yeah, this is my code. So I have declared an array dp of size, so I am not following zero based indexing, that's why I declared n plus 1 n plus 1 n plus 1 n plus 1. Okay, and now this is my array, two-dimensional array of characters or one-dimensional array of strings. So now this is my path function. So this is my starting indices and this is my ending indices. Okay, so now you can see that if starting in this x coordinate of starting index becomes greater than x coordinate of ending index, that is, suppose we start from here and we have to reach here, that is our starting index x coordinate is greater than ending index x coordinate, then there is no path possible, because we can move only in forward or downward direction, that is right or down direction. Okay, sorry. Okay, so now, so then we'll return 0. Similarly, if our starting character is not equal to ending character, then we'll also return 0. And now this is the case for adjacent character, adjacent submatrix, that is this, I discussed it. Okay, so in that case we'll simply return 1. And now if we have already computed the result, then we don't need to compute it and we'll directly return the answer. And if not computed, then we'll compute it using our recursive relation. So this is my example matrix, and you can see that I've called function. And now let's see the live output. Okay, so I'll call this YouTube. Okay, wait, I have not compiled it, sorry. Okay, F9. So now I'll compile it. So you can see that I will get 3, and this is our example, initial examples that we have discussed. Okay, so yeah, so that's it guys for now. Stay tuned as I'll discuss more DP tutorials in future videos. Okay, thank you guys.